it's time to play.
T for Team, the story of the 1996 Texas Rangers. As the Rangers assembled in Port Charlotte, Florida, a positive tone was apparent right from the start. The team seemed more focused than in past years, a perception that was borne out by its 19-11 spring record. With newcomer and #1 starter Ken Hill in place, these Rangers were ready to embark on that long road to the pennant. At the season opener in Arlington, Lone Star heroes like Steve Ubera were everywhere. But none stood taller than Ken Hill, who in his Ranger debut came within an out of a complete game. For Boston, Roger Clemens allowed just 3 hits in 5 innings of work, but the Rangers made them count.
Clark at 2-1. This is hit well to right center. O'Leary going back over his head to the wall. Here comes the first one of the year. Rodriguez around third. Throw home. Here's the catch. With a 5-3 lead, the Rangers turn things over to Ed Bosberg for their first victorious opener in 3 years. Here's a ground ball. McLemore has it. Turns. Ken Hill, the winning pitcher. The Rangers start 1-0. As the week progressed, the Rangers showed that their first salvo was no fluke. They sit with Philly. Slow start, Tetlin. They're going to wave him home. Here comes the throw by O'Leary. Here's the tag. Safe for the plate. This has a chance. Hamilton at the wall. He jumps and he caught. And the Rangers start 3-0 with a sweep.
We played fundamentally sound baseball throughout spring training. We got good pitching, a lot of offense, and played pretty good defense. And that's what happened when the season opened. We were running on all cylinders.
That's ripped to right field and deep and gone. Grounded weakly to shortstop. Elster, the bare hand. What a play! 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Elster. McLemore. Rack him up. And Texas extends their winning streak to 7.
Well, I think that was a real key and instrumental part of our season, is having that early success against quality teams. I think Johnny prepared the club coming out of spring training with that attitude that if we get off to a good start, that it's going to set the tone for the season.
If the Rangers needed further proof that this was going to be their year, the Baltimore Orioles helped supply it on the night of April 19th.
It's weird. Usually every season there's one game where it's just everything clicks, and no matter what you do, hits fall in and you make the pitches and all the good things happen. And it just so happens that was the game against Baltimore.
Texas took a 10-7 lead into the 8th. Then they got serious.
Drill to left center field, 2-run score on a double by Gonzalez. It's 12-7. And that ball is history. It is 15-7.
Jesse couldn't get anybody out, and they brought in reserve infielder Manny Alexander, and he was just laying it in there, but he couldn't throw a strike. And the guys were just taking walks.
The pitch, ball four, and the Rangers have tied their club record, 20 runs in a game. Pitch to Palmer, ball four, and the Rangers have a new record. Their 21st run has been forced home.
And I said, well, if he throws me one, I'm going to give it all I got.
Oh, my! Oh, doctor! Kevin Elster gets a hold of one. That's out of here. A grand slam homer. And it's now 26-7. The Rangers have shattered the club record for most runs in an inning. They've got 16 runs in this inning.
It was a tremendous win for us because anytime you score 16 runs in one inning, I mean, you're feeling pretty good about yourself.
Still another group of Rangers generating some good vibrations early on were the starting pitchers, who were developing into quite a competitive staff.
That's probably their best quality, is their competitiveness. I think they hang together real well as a unit. We've got a lot of good people with good attitudes out there on the mound. Nothing really phases them, and so that's the reason why not only can they bounce back from an inning, but also stay in the ball game and get you some quality innings in.
Like in Detroit on May 3rd, when Ken Hill gave up a first-inning single, then tossed his second career one-hitter, the first for the Rangers since Nolan Ryan in 1990.
Ryan on the pitch, swung on and grounded to first. Big hop for Worthington, underhands to Hill, in time, the ball game is over. Ken Hill has pitched the 17th one-hitter in Texas Rangers history. The final score, the Rangers 11, the Tigers nothing.
Oates and pitching coach Dick Bosman the next day challenged Roger Pavlik to duplicate Hill's feat. Pavlik didn't walk a batter, and accepting the challenge, he too pitched a one-hitter.
And it swung on, it high in the air to right field, and the Rangers have back-to-back one-hitters. Less than 24 hours after Ken Hill retired 27 out of 28, Roger Pavlik does it.
Well, as you're going through those games, you never really sit back and enjoy them because it's tough to enjoy a ball game regardless of the score until the game's over. But I think that gave us indication of what we could expect from our starting pitching throughout the rest of the year.
Indeed, Kevin Gross won 11 games, and Bobby Witt posted a 16-12 record. But the big surprise was Darren Oliver, who, in his first full season as a starter, won 14 and struck out 112. Thanks to a repertoire of pitches that snuck up on unsuspecting hitters.
He's a good pitcher. He's throw hard, and he's kind of like a sneaky guy, you know. Left-hander throwing 90 miles is, you know, is pretty good, and he's doing a good job this year for the Rangers and for the team.
No big names on this pitching staff, but they sure did deliver big time.
These guys may not be as famous or have the numbers that say the Cleveland pitching staff or the Atlanta pitching staff or even the Oriole pitching staff, but I believe these 5 guys can give us a chance to win.
A driving force behind the Rangers' hot start was fun-loving Will Clark. Clark hit safely in 15 of the Rangers' first 18 games, and his on-base consistency was awesome.
And a base hit, and the Rangers have tied it at 1, and Will Clark has reached again. Clark has now reached in all 35 games that the Rangers have played.
He's the kind of hitter that could bring you out of a slump. It's just watching it. And so it's a thrill, no pun intended, to be on the same club with him.
No question. Clark does whatever it takes to win. He cheers for the team. He plays for the team.
He's a guy who truly doesn't care about his own individual statistics. Does he want to get hits? Of course, obviously. But the only thing that matters, and you can tell in a clubhouse after a game, if we've won, if someone's really happy or they're just there. And all Will cares about is winning. And from my standpoint, as far as how I judge players, that is #1 on the list.
The thrill is far from gone in Texas. On May 13th, the Kansas City Royals took a quick 4-0 lead at the ballpark. But the resilient Rangers had already racked up 12 come-from-behind wins in 1996. And thanks to the unsuspecting Royals, they were now on the prowl for lucky number 13.
Here's a drive by Matt McLemore way back at the wall. Kiss it goodbye. Front row home run tie game.
Kansas City reclaimed the lead at 6-4. Then, in the 8th, the Rangers cut it to 1 and set the stage for Rusty Greer.
Swung out and hit deep. Way back to right center field. This may go out of here. It's off the top of the wall. 1 run is home. Here comes Clark. Rangers lead. Greer is doubled home the lead. Oh, doctor!
The Rangers went on to record 40 come-from-behind victories in 1996. But it was nights like this in mid-May that served as the building blocks for a team that truly believed in itself.
Now the Ranger team plays together like a team. And you talk about that elusive word chemistry and how important it is. You know, I look at the Ranger team right now, not to say they're not talented, but all the pulling together, playing like a team is the reason that they've played as well as they have.
But the best comeback of the year belonged to the Rangers' comeback player of the year, shortstop Kevin Elster, a non-roster invitee who ended up starting 155 games in an unbelievable season. Elster's defense has always been superb, but no one ever expected Kevin to set career marks for average, runs, hits, walks, doubles, you name it.
He hits one deep. Way back and kiss it goodbye. Elster has homered. Deep left field, number 11.
Another career high. By May 13th, no less. He'd go on to hit 24 home runs with 99 RBIs.
I mean, I had a super spring. I had the best spring of my career. And I got the job, and it just carried through for the next 6 months. And just one of those great things. It just was a storybook year for me.
Kevin also tied a club record when he homered in 4 consecutive games. All this from a shortstop who came from nowhere.
There's a long one, and that is deep, and it is long gone. Upstairs, Elster homers.
Everything, for the most part, went right, it seemed like. As far as the extra power, I don't have any way to explain it.
Every time you open up a season, you'll always have a few question marks. And you know, whenever you win, you usually have to have someone step up and answer some of those questions. And Kevin stepped up and you know, became comeback player of the year.
In '96, the shortstop in Arlington could do no wrong. There were a few Cleveland fans in the packed house on Memorial Day as the Rangers took on Jack McDowell and the mighty Indians.
Anytime you play the defending American League champions, it's a big game, and we're trying to establish ourselves during the season as a good ball club, and we got a chance to play them, and we played well, and it was weird. It was 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, had 2 strikes on me, and Kevin Elster was at first, and it's one of those things where the crowd really wasn't into it. I mean, they assumed that we were going to go into extra innings.
Jack McDowell trying to get the Tribe into extra innings, and if he can get the hot Darryl Hamilton to make an out here.
It just so happens one of the few times I pull a ball, I pulled it down the line, and everything just kind of clicked.
Here's the pitch. Hamilton a swing and a long drive down the right field line. If it's fair, it's trouble, and it is a fair ball bounding to the corner. Here comes Elster around third, heading home. The throw by Vierga, the dive, he's safe. The Rangers win. The Rangers win as Hamilton has tripled home. Kevin Elster, the ballpark's going crazy.
Kevin Elster slid head first and got in by a whisker. I mean, it was tight, but it was one of those wins that kind of carried us during the season to get us going as far as having confidence against the big boys.
On June 2nd, Juan Gonzalez hit a 447-foot blast, the longest home run at the ballpark in '96. But Juan wasn't the only Power Ranger in Texas. Dean Palmer was establishing a superhuman reputation of his own.
Dean Palmer, we call him the natural man. He can hit a ball out of anywhere at any given time, and he hits some of the longest tape measure shots you ever want to see.
In fact, the day after Gonzalez's bomb, Palmer hit a 437-foot shot in Milwaukee.
He hits this ball deep to center field, way back, and goodbye. That ball was crushed to the 402 side and about 15 rows back. And when Dino gets a hold of one, he can really put a charge in.
Palmer hit a career-high 38 home runs in 1996. Throw in 107 RBIs, and you've got a team player who can truly be a one-man show.
But when Dino gets hot, his hits and home runs, he can carry the team all by himself.
Still another example of the Rangers' comeback prowess came on June 26th. Once again against the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles raced to a 5-1 lead, but the relentless Rangers battled back, and Gonzalez topped off the comeback in the 8th.
And the first pitch to Juan, swung on and drilled to right center field. Racing into the gap, Bonilla, it's over his head and bouncing to the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Here comes Rodriguez, he will score. Gonzalez has cleaned them off. The Rangers lead 6-5.
The Rangers solidified their reputation as the comeback kids when Mike Henneman got Rafael Palmeiro for the final out. With a 6.5 game bulge, the Rangers had matched their largest lead of the year. At the '96 All-Star Game in Philadelphia, Roger Pavlik made his first appearance, while Pudge made a team record 5th. Pavlik pitched 2 innings, and though he did allow 2 runs, he also struck out 2, including Mike Piazza. Rodriguez didn't get a hit, but he did dazzle with his defense, gunning down the likes of Lance Johnson and later Barry Bonds.
Bonds goes again. Rodriguez, he got it.
This is a tough pitch to throw on, but you see why Rodriguez is one of the best throwers in baseball. Gets rid of the ball very quickly, even on a pitch low and in to the left-hander.
It seems like Pudge Rodriguez has been around forever, but he's only 24. He's also one of the most popular Rangers on the team, something that can be traced to the fact he works so hard.
My favorite player is Pudge Rodriguez because he's just got it going on.
My favorite player is Pudge Rodriguez because he can hit and he's just an awesome catcher.
Pudge Rodriguez is my favorite player because, you know, he got that cannon of an arm throwing out base runners.
Rodriguez because I like catchers a lot.
5 Gold Gloves in 5 full seasons. One of many reasons people like Pudge so much.
I think it's the way I play the game. I play the game hard, you know, the hardest that I can, and I like to win. And a lot of fans see, you know, play myself hard, run the bases hard, and make some good plays there. And I think probably that's what I like.
Pudge is known for the way he calls a game, and he led the majors with a 50% caught stealing success rate. But he also hit 300 for the 2nd straight year and set career marks for home runs with 19 and RBIs with 86.
And this is a shot. Way back, kiss it goodbye. 2-0 Rodriguez. Pudge Rodriguez hits the deep seats and left.
Before the season started, I say I'm gonna put better numbers than the year before, and I just concentrate to do that.
His 192 hits in 1996 were a career best, and Pudge set the all-time Major League record for doubles by a catcher with 47. What's more, no catcher in history ever matched his 639 at-bats.
I don't know what I can say. I just see everything like a basketball thing, and hitting hard, you know. I just concentrate to hitting hard, and it worked for me.
Pudge Rodriguez, quite a catch.
Go! 1, 2, 3, and...
Juan Gonzalez was hurt for much of the season's first half, but when the red-hot months of summer finally settled in, Juan began to sizzle, especially in July.
Been in the game 30 years. I don't think I've ever seen anyone have 1 month offensively, the kind of month that Juan had. It was just unbelievable. It seemed like every time we needed a home run, he hit it.
This is a rocket. Maybe the second deck just a little bit short, and Juan Gonzalez has a 2-home run game. Juan Gonzalez is in his
think if anybody was in the zone, Juan was. Seemed like every time he would come up, you expected a home run.
And he smokes one pretty good. This is way back. Erstead at the wall, looking up. Is it goodbye? It's 3-0. Juan Gonzalez continuing to tear apart pitching in the American League has hit another one.
That moment, like in July, see the ball like a watermelon.
Flips one in the air to right. This is deep toward the corner. This could go out. It's up and it's gone. Home run to right. Hitting streak in 21 games.
A hitting streak, but more.
Check this out. Check this out.
A 1-month stretch of power that equaled the very best.
Swung on and hit deep. If it's fair, down the left field line. He's done it. It's gone. A 3-run homer for Juan Gonzalez. Listen to the names of the people who have hit 15 home runs in the month of July. Joe DiMaggio, Hank Greenberg, Joe Adcock, and Juan Gonzalez.
In August, the first-place Rangers shored up their staff, trading for the Marlins' John Burkett.
Well, at first, whenever I got traded, I made a lot of friends over at the Marlins and all that, so I was a little bummed out, but I started looking in the paper and saw that they had a 1-game lead, and thought, wow, next time I take the mound, it's going to be an pennant race. And so got really excited at that point in time and took it on up to Toronto. Threw one of my best games of my career, probably, and throwing a shutout against Toronto.
Hello, Wincala. This one is over on strike 3, and what a sensational start for the right-hander. It doesn't get any better than this. If he wanted to be impressive, Tom, there's not much more he could have done.
Burkett won his first 2 starts for the Rangers, and in his 10 total starts, he gave up just 4 home runs. John finished with a 5-2 record for Texas and provided veteran leadership down the stretch.
Not only was John a big addition physically on the field, John was a big addition emotionally in the clubhouse. It was a big lift for our ball club. It gave us the confidence that we had a chance to compete the last month when everybody else was making moves, and to go out there and win 5 ball games, very, very gratifying.
One thing that delivered all year was the defense. The Rangers led the majors with just 87 errors and set an American League record with 15 straight errorless games.
Well, that was one of the things that we set out to do when Johnny and myself came over here, was to put an emphasis on defense. And overall, it's just a good quality defensive ball club, and I think we've gotten the message sent out there loud and clear.
And here's a ball deep short. Elster, great play up, throwing Dixon. He got him at first. Dave Martinez flips one in the shallow left center. Here comes Greer, and a diving catch.
Broken bat roller. Clark smothers it. Throws to Heredia covering for the out.
Defense was excellent this year. I mean, guys came out to play, and they knew that the reputation here wasn't that of defense, but that of offense. So we kind of wanted to change that.
Fly ball to right. Gonzalez coming on hard, and he lunges. He caught it. Nice catch by Juan. Pulls it down the third baseline. Great stop by Palmer. Got him in first.
When you got a team that can field the ball like we can, you don't worry about throwing strikes and letting them hit the ball, because we got guys there that can make the plays, routine ones and ones that you don't expect.
And a little loop in a right center field. McLemore, great catch. They got a double play at second. The game's over. Hello, Wincala. McLemore makes a tremendous diving catch. The doctor turns 2 at second base, and the Rangers have won it.
The doctor at second base was Mark McLemore, who led the league in putouts, assists, and total chances.
With McLemore, he was the best second baseman I've ever played with. Great soft hands, and we had a good time working out there together. And I thought everybody played excellent. Darryl didn't make an error all year.
Indeed, Darryl Hamilton was perfect through 389 chances to lead all Major League outfielders. He now has just 8 errors in his 767-game career, and good fielding did make a difference.
Rangers have always had a great hitting ball club, but the pitching and defense have always struggled. And this year has totally changed. Our pitching has come in and done an outstanding job, and our defense has been tremendous. And you look at the way other ball clubs who are in the playoffs, how they get there, and it's pitching defense. And, you know, we kind of follow that suit this year.
Rusty Greer was also a big part of the Rangers' defense, and he'd go on to drive in 100 runs and lead the team with a .332 average. He also had a knack for rising to the occasion. Case in point, Cleveland. August 21st, nationally televised rubber game of the series. Tie score in the 10th.
Rip to right, back it goes, back, gone! Rusty Greer took a while to get going tonight, but his two-run shot has given the Rangers a 10-8 lead.
That hit right there speaks volumes about their character this year.
Rusty made the move from right field to left in spring training and made more than his share of outstanding plays. But this is no surprise. Rusty is one of the Rangers' most complete players, one who in '96 hit 18 home runs.
Deep to right. This one is gone.
There's a fly ball to the left, it's deep, and this one is long gone.
Voted the most popular Ranger in a newspaper poll, it was just like Rusty to deflect his success to others.
I grew up some as a hitter, and it's one of those things that had a lot of people on base in front of me, and that was a great job by Darryl Hamilton, Pudge Rodriguez, everybody that got on base, and hopefully next year I can come back and follow up with something similar to this year.
Rusty is an outstanding Major League player, and he's going to get better. I think Rusty Greer is going to be an outstanding number 3 hitter at the Major League level. He runs well, he can steal a base for you, he can score from first on an extra base hit, and he's an outstanding defensive left fielder, so he's got all the qualities to be a very good Major League player.
But Rusty wasn't the only Nouveau Power Ranger to open eyes with his production. On August 25th in Minnesota, Kevin Elster had his third 5 RBI game of the year. And his 92 RBIs, batting 9th, was the most in Major League history. Gonzalez chalked up a few records of his own. Texas team records for slugging, total bases, and RBIs.
Here's Juan Gonzalez at RBI, and he's in the record books as the all-time leader. It's a gapper by Gonzalez. This is up the alley, and it is gone. It just cleared. Gonzalez, a low-line drive, and meet the new RBI champion in a single season for the Rangers. Gonzalez, 120 runs batted in. 120, a new Ranger record.
Nolan Ryan already has an expressway named after him, so it was no surprise in mid-September when the Rangers retired his number before a sellout crowd of almost 46,000. They were, in fact, the first Texas team to retire the fabled number.
No Texas Ranger will ever wear the number 34 again. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, his next stop is Cooperstown, the Babe Ruth of strikeouts, Nolan Ryan.
I can say this, that I signed with all intentions of playing 1 year. And because of you, the fans, and this organization and my teammates, I stayed 5 great years.
When Nolan Ryan came here, he was a superstar. When he left, he was a legend.
On September 16th, Texas traveled to Seattle, holding a 6-game lead over the resurgent Mariners, the start of a 9-game road trip. But the struggling Rangers were beset by missed opportunities and an offense that had suddenly gone silent as Seattle charged to a 4-game sweep.
We went into Seattle. I mean, I was so happy we had a big lead going in there because that's the kind of place where it's very easy to get swept. It's very tough to win, and that's exactly what they did to us. They were on a roll at that point, and it just seemed like no lead was safe.
There's the 1-2. Little looper. This should do it. 8 in a row. The Brooms are out. Refuse to lose. Well, this one is down to 2 games.
They did what they had to do, and they swept us there. And then we went to Anaheim. We thought, okay, let's get back on the right track. And we had the lead in the 9th inning with 2 outs and nobody on, and they came back and won the game. At that point, I think all of us were just absolutely shell-shocked, and we went into the locker room and we're moping around thinking, gosh, the lead's down to 1. We're tied in the loss column, which is basically, in my opinion, tied, but somehow we reached in and found that inner strength.
They sure did, with back-to-back triumphs over the Angels that pushed their lead back to 2 and left their manager to marvel.
If you could ask me to title this team with one word, I would have to say resilient, because not only from that 4-game losing streak in Seattle, plus going to Anaheim the next night and losing a ball game with 2 out and 2 strikes in the 9th inning there, that's about as low as we got this year, but we were able to bounce back to win the next 2 in Anaheim, go to Oakland Spit, come home and win 3 out of 4 to finish the season.
The lunacy of Seattle was a distant memory for Texas fans when, on September 27th, the Rangers had the chance to win their first ever division title. Ironically, it happened in Oakland when the A's beat Seattle 8-1 long before the Rangers game was decided. Seattle was eliminated, and for the first time in franchise history, Texas would play a postseason game.
It is over. The Oakland A's have beaten the Seattle Mariners. The moment, not quite the anticipated moment for the crowd, but it is a moment. And the Rangers have won the American League Western Division.
Ah, but the bubbly would have to wait, for there was still a game to be completed. And though the Rangers lost in 15 innings, the luster of winning the Western Division title could not be tarnished. The Rangers would finish their most successful season ever with a 90-72 record, 4.5 games ahead of Seattle. And they held on to first place for the last 163 days of the season.
Just very grateful, very thankful for all these guys that have been so resilient all year and just kept plugging, even to the what was it, the 15th inning out there tonight, never giving up and continuing to give that effort that we expect all the time.
It's so much fun right now. I mean, this is such a great group of guys that came out all season long and battled adversity all season long with everybody saying you can't do this, you can't do that, and we did it.
That was a blast. I mean, we were here for a while celebrating. I mean, people say we didn't back into nothing. How do you back into a championship whenever, you know, you were in first place all but 4 days? We didn't back into nothing. We worked hard, we earned it, we celebrated nice, real nice, and hope to do some more celebrating.
Without question, the key to the Rangers in '96 was manager Johnny Oates. He was the chemist who made the formula work. He was the man who kept the I out of team.
Johnny has been the ultimate solid force behind this ball club. He's a very steadying influence. Nothing really phases him, and I think that mirrors the team. The team sort of looks at Johnny and says, well, if nothing phases him, then nothing's going to phase us.
All of the things
you hope everybody has, Johnny has. And it's that inner strength that I think he brought to the ball club. And in times of adversity, he was still the same as he was in times of great success. And I think that evenness was a real secret to our success this year. And I just don't think there's anybody, a finer person in baseball than Johnny Oates.
So the Rangers found themselves in Yankee Stadium, relaxed and ready.
Oh, yeah! That's a homer!
Far from intimidated, the Rangers knew precisely what they had to do.
Our job is to go out there and play the kind of baseball we've been playing all season long, which is very consistent defense, some timely hitting, and good, solid starting pitching.
And in this best-of-5 division series, the Rangers maintained their stellar defensive play, beginning in the very first inning of Game 1, with runners on second and third.
Palmer with a diving stop. He'll hold the runners and go across the diamond on a dandy play to take care of O'Neill, robbing him of 2 runs batted in.
Palmer's pick prevented disaster, and against David Cone in the fourth, Gonzalez teed off.
And a long drive to left, into the corner and into the seats. Well, George Steinbrenner better check the deed, because these days it's Juan Gonzalez who owns the New York Yankees.
Gonzalez's 6th home run of the year against the Yankees was followed by a 2-run shot off the bat of Palmer. Both blast down the left field line. Cone allowed still another run in the 6th, more than enough for Burkett, who managed to keep his composure on the mound.
That was the loudest crowd I think I've ever pitched in front of, and going into it, you know, I realized it was my first postseason game, and I didn't really know how I was going to react to it. All I knew that is I wanted to be aggressive.
Aggressive enough to silence the New York crowd with a complete game 6-2 victory. A long way from the Florida Marlins, Burkett was on top of the world.
After the game, I mean, really satisfying, you know, to be able to go out there your first game and go 9 and have the Texas Rangers win their first postseason game. It was a great feeling.
For a while in Game 2, the stadium was the Rangers' playground once again, as Gonzalez belted 2 more home runs, giving him 7 RBIs in the first 2 games. But this time, the Yankees pecked away and left town with a 5-4 win and a series tied at 1. Back to Texas for the first ever playoff game in Arlington. The Rangers were 5-1 at home against the Yankees in 1996, 34-9 since 1989. So confidence was high.
Go Rangers!
Rangers got it going on.
Let's go Rangers! Yeah!
Let's go Rangers! Go Rangers! Number 1!
The game, of course, was a sellout. After all, the Rangers drew nearly 3 million fans in 1996.
You couldn't ask for any more out of our fans, I don't think, this year than we got. These fans right here have been great to me, great to our team, and I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world.
The ballpark never looked better. It was time to rock and roll. Juan gave the fans plenty of reason to rejoice, smacking 2 more home runs in the series to tie the postseason series record with 5. But the heroics of Senor Octubre and the Rangers' home success would not be enough. For the eventual World Series champion Yankees won 2 straight in Arlington, 3-2 and 6-4, and moved on to the League Championship Series. But despite losing the series, the Rangers fans stood and honored their team for the season and the postseason they finally got to be a part of.
These fans wanted us to win, and it was nice to see a city and its fans bond with a team the way that this area did with our team. And when we lost, the fans gave us a standing ovation. Our fans appreciated the fact that we had a team that was trying, that was hustling, and that wanted to win but didn't. and they still were so supportive of us. And I think all of the players and everybody in the organization will always remember that.
It was a great beginning in '96, but it is just the beginning. Things can only get better for the ball team in Arlington.
We always thought that, Eagles ain't going to get you nothing. I mean, you can't buy a winner. You got to have guys that are willing to go out there hurt, bust their tails when things ain't going well, and, pretty much just fight your way through everything. That's what we've done.
This ball club has shown a lot of bounce back this year, a lot of resiliency, and I think that that's one of the key, if not the key ingredient that has gotten us to where we've gotten.
I sort of felt like Christopher Columbus must have felt, We did something that people said could not be done, and I guess Christopher Columbus was told that too.
Right now there's a good mix of players and some good young players with mixed in with the veteran players, and this is just a team who has a lot of things going for it for the future, and we can use what we did this year as a stepping stone or a bridge in the next year. And hopefully, if we come out and do what we did this year, do the little things, we can carry our season a little bit farther.